Hello, I'm going to raise this. This is the first hand, by the way. I know I just kind of opened that very briefly, very quickly, but today is a sit and go. I'm going to teach you a little thing or two about winning sit and goes. This might not be the most exciting poker, but there will be some bluffs in it, I guess is the best thing I can say, because you want to even your range. You don't want to only bet when you have it, basically, I guess. Like here, I can raise it up because I raised before the flop. Now they might call, and that's okay too. I'm going to put them on a spade if they do, and if two spades come up, I'm still going to go because I have the jack. I'm going to call this raise just because I won the last pot. And I normally don't play after I win a pot, just to kind of settle down and see where everyone's at, see if I put anyone on tilt or whatever after winning the last pot. See if anyone wants to kind of attack me. But this is a one carder. It's not suited, but if I do catch a run here, it'll be amazing. But it's pretty much going to be my last big play early on, even though it's like two hands in. Okay, so 7, 8, 9, 10, jack. So we've got a good shot. We'll check it though, we'll check it. I know it's giving them a free card, but if I bet at every single flop, then they're going to just think I'm wild. So I'm going to call this. Let's see. Let me think. Yeah, I'm going to call it. Now we've got someone could have a 7 and a 10. They're obviously going to bet again at the 10. Oh, they didn't. Okay, so I'm going to put that person on nothing. I'm going to obviously just raise it up here to 200 and hope to just take down the pot. I assume they're going to fold on the button. And they do, and the other person folded. Cool, and that is how you can, I guess, I don't want to say professionally take down a pot, but that's how you can put them on ranges. So they bet the flop because they were last to act, and you're meant to bet the flop if you're last to act. But what if two people call? You know, they don't. People generally don't go into hands with plans. Whereas I knew I was going to call a raise if the last person bet at it. I'm just going to fold this if someone bets. I'm not even going to challenge for this one. Even on the river, I'll just fold to a bet, no problem. I'm happy enough to get out of that. Because it was also on the lower end and I had two high cards. I've already clicked check and fold, but I'm actually going to unclick it there. It's a very bad hand, jack 2. I kind of hope someone raises so I can just fold. A lot of people see the big blind as something you were kind of forced to play because you've already got money out there. So if you've already got money out there, surely you should go and chase it. Now I thought I told those. Well, I'm obviously going to fold that. I hate this thing. I'm actually going to fold and just sit out the next hand. I just have to do something. Because for some reason those dealer messages keep popping up. No, that's not it. Settings maybe. Disable shot. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know where this is, so I'm just going to get back to it because there's no real point in doing this in the middle of a thing anyway. Just want to see if it's in this little list. Show more games button. Yeah, I can get rid of that. Okay, I'm going to apply these changes. They might not kick in to this game. Okay, I'm back. What did I have? 8-2. I wouldn't have called anyway, so I'm okay with that. I probably missed the small blind. Yeah, I would have missed the small blind. Anyway, 4-5. I'm also going to fold this. See, at the minute I'm in a pretty good spot. I have more than 200 chips above starting stack, and that's kind of where you kind of want to be. And we know the person to the right has already gone in once. So now we know how to play their big hands. I guess that's a huge tell right there. Like, even little things like that. So let's think. If they're going to go all in before the flop, they're basically saying, I have queens, kings, aces, or possibly ace-king, and they're not quite sure how to play an ace-king if it doesn't flop well. So that's pretty much what I put them on. I doubt they'd go all in with a pair of sixes. So they openly said all in, like when they're not even a low stack, which kind of does tell me aces, which also tells me that if the flop comes 9, 10, jack, they probably have a queen king if they do go all in. They don't have like a jack and an ace. So it's a big tell, like, when people do stuff like that, especially seeing as they haven't done it before that moment or since. It means that the range for doing that is tight, so it must be a good range rather than, oh yeah, 9-4, gotta go all in with this. So I'm assuming it was kings or aces. So yeah, when you're playing, look out for little things like that, because it really will help you. So they've raised 60. I don't know if they've done it before. I haven't really been paying enough attention because I was looking around for the dealer message thing. Whoa, all in. Yeah, they were. I feel like they didn't have much that time because someone raised, so they were just going all in to protect their big blind. See, look, I've already clicked check or fold because the blinds don't really matter to me. Honestly, they don't. I know they probably should. Position is more important, in my opinion. I'm going to fold that. But a blind, not so much, because at this stage you're losing 20. The blinds are going to go up, which means that for every 2 I lose now, I can gain 1 later to get the 2 of the ones I've just lost back. It's just mathematical, like, it compounds as it goes up, like. So if you win 2 big blinds now, you've won 40. In 20 minutes from now, you win 2 big blinds, you've won 160. So don't worry about losing blinds or giving up blinds this early. What you're more concerned about is your actual chip size. Like, before the blinds hit 25-50, you want to make sure you have at least over 1,000. If you hit 700, all in should be your next move, because you still have enough fold equity. And fold equity is like, how many chips do I have to go all in with that will make the other person fold? And that's basically, I'm going to call this because I don't like giving the big blind just my small blind when no one else is limped in. And I'm going to bet this because I hit it. It's that simple, really. See if they hit it. If they call, they've probably got the 8. They probably would have raised with the king, so 2s could be good, and obviously they were because I just won. Got them to fold, and that's fine. Like, that's all you really need. Just won a big blind. Didn't want that pot getting complicated, because when I had the lowest pair, the cheapest time to bet would be on the flop, if everyone limps in pre-flop. So that's what I did. If I had have waited until like a 4 or a 6 flopped, then I bet and they could call. Like, so I was just limiting what they could have because there's less cards out, and betting to protect, really, hoping they'd fold. Now 10-6. I'm not going to play the next 2 because I don't like early position. I know the small blind does raise pre-flop, so I don't know if I want to call a raise with this hand. So in light of that, I'm just going to fold. We got a fold and a raise. So, see what I mean? You notice these tendencies in people, you just got to play them. Yeah, I would have had the highest card here, but I wouldn't have had a very good kicker. I probably would have called that bet, and if a queen had to come up, then what would I have done? Like, I wouldn't have known. Because they raised pre-flop, but they're always doing that, so they're raising pre-flop pretty wide. So they could have had a 9-10, 5-6, 2 suited cards, even a 9-4 suited. Or they could have ace-queen, but they obviously do fold some because they just folded that one. As far as I can tell, though, when they have to pay, they're going to fight to keep that money. Whereas I view the big blind not as money that I had to pay, or my money is out there now. That's just money that's there. It's not my money. It's no one's money. It's just on the table. It came from my stack, sure, but I don't count it as like my money that I have to get back. Like, that's just the price of it. You know, if you're driving a car, that's just the petrol. If you're playing poker, that's just the blind. It's just what you have to pay. There's no anything like that really. So just got to accept that the blind's a part of the game. End of story. That's it. Just get that through your brains. Blind's a part of the game. Sometimes they'll get taken on you. Sometimes they'll take other people's. They're not that important early on. They then become the sole reason to play, which is kind of funny how the dynamic changes. But for now, they're just not that important. Even though they just went up, nah, still not going to fight for this. I will only fight if I get good cards, which I've got an alright hand. So I will call a raise here. And I will call a c-bet. And I will call another one. Because I have a blocker. I have the ace. Well, that didn't work out very well. So I'm obviously just going to raise this up to 500. Hope they fold. If they go all in, I'm folding. And they folded. And sometimes you just have to see that. That's the person who went all in the whole time earlier. So I had no fear really of facing them. And you saw what I had. I was playing their tendency, not my cards. I just won one, so they might be afraid of me, but see, I'm in early position, so if they do have something and I bet first, yeah, it's just not a great position for me to leave me to decision, especially when they bet more than is already in the pot. That's beautiful for me. I was going to bet, then I realised my position, which is something I talk about. Like, remember I said earlier that I don't really care about blinds, it's more about my position, and that's what I mean. I had early position, so I was not going to call that. Whereas if I was in last position, like I will be now, if I make it to the flop now, I will be in last position. And if I'm in last position, then I can see what they're doing first. And if they had a check to me, then I probably would have bet just to bet, and then I would have gotten re-raised. So I'm going to call this just because they're suited. And I won all those chips off that other person. Here we go. I hit that in no way, but I'm last to act, so if it checks around to me, I get a free check. No problems. I'm going to bet at this because at this stage I'd have to make them believe that my hand is good, but if they're willing to bet, that means, see, I know what they have, and that's the worst thing. They have like an ace-queen, possibly even ace, not ace-jack, ace-10 maybe, ace-queen. So I'm going to fold and hope the other person calls because I'd like to see their hand. I could probably make them fold with like a bigger overbet, but I just don't really see the point in fighting too hard. Especially against the chip leader. Ace-6, arguably the worst ace you can have. Because at least there's an outside chance you'll get a run. If I had an ace-5 there, all I'd need is a 4 and I'd have a run. Now, funny enough, oh wait, no, 2, 3, yeah. All I would need is a 4 to get a run. Oh, ace-3, huh. See? Kicker didn't help me there. No, I'm just kidding. Basically, it's ace-6 is the worst kicker you can have because it doesn't make the run, and it's the lowest kicker of the higher aces. And they went in with an ace-3. I forget if they just limped or if they raised, but if they raised with it, then that is a huge tell for me. I'm going to fold that. It's suited and that's pretty much the only thing going for it. Oh, where's it gone? Sorry about this, I'm looking for something. Oh, I think it's just gone now. Oh well. Okay, 9-7, and there was a re-raise. Quite a substantial one. Let's see what this person does. All in. It's like you could write it sometimes. They're saying, I want that blind. Oh, they got called. They probably didn't want that. If this is a three-way all in, I'm going to actually be up for the 9s. Well, at least one person was gone. Oh, and that person only has 300 chips left, basically. They're going to go all in here, so I'm just going to fold, because I don't want to give them, when they're weak, I don't want to give them an excuse to come back into it. And literally I had clicked fold, and then I was looking at the mic and talking, and then I realised that the person who I was giving out about had just folded. Again, 7-9. They're suited, but that's about it. No point in fighting too hard for pots just yet. 4-5. See, if you had an ace-6 there, wouldn't be much help, but if you had an ace-2 or an ace-3, one card away from the run. Like, that's substantial. Oh, got a bet. Over half pot. About, what, like 2/3 pot? 3/5 pot? Something like that. Enough to get to fold. Ooh, the amateur hand. I'm going to fold. See, the other beautiful thing about folding so often is people assume then when you do go in, you obviously have an ace, pair of 9s, pair of 10s, pair of jacks, or ace king, ace queen, ace jack. You have to have something along those lines. It just stands to reason, right? If you're going to only go in 1 in every 30 hands, that hand must be amazing for you to actually finally call a raise. Which means you can actually just go in with a 7 and a 1, a 7 and a 3, ace 2. You go in with king 7. Like, you can actually go in with these hands because they expect you to have higher. Which means that if you get your 7 with your king kicker, that's pretty decent. You can bet they won't believe you because you obviously have to have an ace. So therefore, you can kind of double bluff them that way. So you just have to play situations sometimes rather than playing cards, rather than playing like aggressive the whole time or trying to win everything. Just try to win one big pot every so often. Folding this, no point. Just relax. That person's at 200 chips beside you. They'll go all in if they get enough callers. They only got 1 this time, so they'll probably just fold. See, they're trying to play the odds too. They're trying to get as many people in as possible. This person's probably going to go all in now if everyone else folds because they know I will fold. They're thinking, which means it's an all in. I'm going to fold. I mean, I could probably win. Oh no, they folded. Nice. Because I actually wanted to see a flop with this. 7, 8, 9. Okay, we'll check. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. No point in betting that because there was already 2 out and I didn't bet. So I will call a bet though. And there's the 5. That's the 5 I was looking for the whole time. Is the story I'm going to tell this person. Yeah, and they believed me. So there you have it. And look at that. Still over 2,000 chips. And I can fold this, no problem. Because I just won more than a big blind. Won more than what I lost there last time. I'm going to raise it up. Will I? No. The reason I'm folding here is because the 2 players to my left at the minute constantly bet. And Jack 7 normally doesn't flop very well, so I didn't want to get involved because that person, especially the person on the button at the minute, they raise and then they always c-bet. Which means that they generally have nothing. So when you do have something, go in with them, call their c-bet, raise them on the turn, raise them on the river, like get it in with them. But pick your moments. Pick your moments. Ooh. Ah. Oh, that person has like 3 big blinds left. Less even, 2 point something maybe. because of the ant days. So I'm going to fold because I don't want to call them all in. But the thing is, now I could potentially call them all in with a queen and a 10, because they don't have the luxury of waiting for their aces or waiting for ace jack. They'll have to go in all in with something like queen 8, and they would have beat me. Oh, I had the other person's 10. See, now they're on 350, and I don't like that. And what should I call them? Again, they don't really have the luxury, but at the same time, now another hand has gone by without them having an ace. Okay, I'll call. I'll raise. I've got a pretty decent standing here. This person generally folds the c-bets. They didn't that time. Okay, I'll go again. Probably fold. Yeah, they were waiting for their king or their ace. And the thing about it is, when the flop comes out, you have a percentage chance of hitting your card, because there are 2 cards left to come out. There's the turn and the river. So if you call a flop bet and no one bets the turn, you have another free chance to catch a card in the river. But if you bet the flop or you call a bet on the flop and you miss the turn, suddenly your chances of hitting the card you want to hit are cut in half, because there's only 1 card left to come now. When you call a bet on the flop, you have 2 cards to catch a card. When you call a bet on the turn, you have 1 card to catch your card. Will I go all in? They're suited. But they did wait a couple of rounds before actually calling, which was very clever of them. They were actually biding their time. I'm going to fold. Kicker troubles, don't want to get involved. Oh, they just won another big blind. I'm going to try and I'll call a bet of 100, but I won't call a 150 raise. Or a 200 raise, so that's fine. I don't mind losing that, because if I was able to see a flop cheaply with a pair of 2s, then flop a 2, like, that's the dream. Like, flopping 2 2s, 2 ace comes out, they have the ace, they go hell for leather at it, you have quads. That's the dream. But it's only the dream if you can catch the flop as cheaply as possible, because basically you don't want to I'm going to call this because they're going in pretty weak. They've gone in quite a lot, and I've got them dominated, and I've got one of my cards. I need to avoid a queen or a 10. They hit their 10, they're right back in it. But I was right to call, so I'm happy enough with that. I hope to go all in here again. I'm going to shove. No, I'll just raise. We'll see what's up. Oh, we got a fold. Nice. See, look, I'm almost at 2,000 again. I'm going to fold if this person goes all in again. Or if I can't, like, ace 2 is fine to play. Ace low kicker is fine to play if you're the first person in the pot. But if someone is raising before you, they're telling you, I also have an ace, or at least a king, but my kicker is also high. Look, they must have what? What are you thinking? King ace? Oh, never find out. Never find out. Sad day. Sad day. Okay, 7-9 suited. Let's do this. I know I folded a while back. Okay. Very interesting flop. Oh, that's about as far as I got to an interesting flop. 6-4. I'm kind of like, there are spots where I could have played for sure, definitely. But having said that, I've been kind of card dead. You know, that's just the way it goes sometimes. Ace 6. Will I call the all in this time? I think I will. Can't win all the time, right? I know ace 6 is the lowest you should ever consider calling with, but their range will be so tight, so wide now. Okay, I can raise. That person raises from the button 100% of the time. So I'm going to actually call this raise. No, I'm going to re-raise them. There we go. 500. I either made their day or they're in trouble. And it's funny because if they go all in, I'm folding. Yep, thought so. Every time I'm on the big blind, they raise. Now I wouldn't mind if the button went all in. See, these are the things you have to pick up on, you know. Should I go all in? Let's see. The 800 person might call me. The person who who's on big blind. No. Yeah, I'm going all in. Ace queen suited. Why not? I might get two callers. I'm hoping they'll fold. They called. Whoops. And they folded. Queen, queen. King. Okay, I should hold. I do. Woo! See, if I had an ace and any other kicker, that was me done. And did I get lucky? I mean, it was a coin flip. Literal coin flip. They had a 52% chance of winning. I had a 48% chance of winning. You know, it's an absolute coin flip. Because they've already... Basically, they have their two pair. So they have a chance of catching a third one. But because they have two of their cards already, it's less likely for them to catch a third one. I have two cards. Both of them are live. Which means that like both of them are in play. Like they don't have any of my cards, so therefore they're both very good. And basically, because both of them are over theirs, even though I don't have a made hand right now. Oh, look, kicker trouble. Kicker trouble, I'm always telling you. Kickers will get you into trouble. And there we have it again. This has turned on its head. Think I'll win this one? I'm actually just going to fold. I'm going to let that person get blinded out, wait for them to go all in, and then, oh no, don't go all in. I'm going to raise with the twos, because if I call, they'll raise, and they might raise to 300, but if I raise, then they can fold. I'm basically telling them I have stronger than what I actually had. So yeah, I feel like I was making a point earlier. Yeah, basically I have an ace and a king. They had two queens. So I have an ace to catch, a second ace to catch, and a third ace to catch. That's three cards I can catch. I have a king to catch, a second king to catch, a third king to catch. So that's in total 6 cards that can come out that will make me suddenly the favourite. So, you know, they only have 2 cards to catch, but if they get it, then I'm pretty much screwed. But at the same time, I have 6 to catch, so pretty easy, really. I'm going to fold if they go all in. I'm going to call. King might catch something. I'll call this re-raise unless it's like over 200. Interesting. Let's keep the pot going up a little bit. They might fold. Hopefully they'll fold. They'll probably raise. I bet they'll raise. They can see right through it. They're thinking anyway. Oh, they folded. Grand. Absolutely fine. Just as long as we can keep picking off the person on the button who's just after going all in. If we can just keep them low enough. They're doing a very smart thing though. They're going all in from the button, which means they can pick up the small blind and the big blind if we both fold. But on the big blind, if they go all in, they're only picking up one more blind. On the small blind, if they go all in, they're only picking up one more blind. If they go all in from the button, they have a chance. They've double the risk because 2 people can then call them, but they get more reward by going all in. Because if we both fold, then they get a blind and a half. Oh, no, I've one of the person's 4s, so that's definitely gone to the 8s. Wow. That's not good. That is not good at all. That means sit back and relax mode is now gone. Because I just wanted to get heads up, you know. Technically, the rules of ICM dictate that I'm chip leader. So people should stay out of my way, but I should get in their way. And the 2 small stacks should attack each other. And because I have so many chips individually, they're worth less. All in obviously is different because it's just a whole different format. But if I buy in for a blind of, say, 80, it's a small percentage of my stack. Whereas if someone has 1,000 chips and they buy in for 80, that's like almost, that's the what, like 90, that's 8% of their chips. So they only have like, they can only do that really like 11 times in total. So that's a little rule of ICM for you. But the problem is, if you're playing against players who don't understand that and they're small blind, then they just attack big blind or whatever because they don't really know how it works. Then, you know, you can't really play by those rules either. So you just gotta play poker sometimes. So they're raising. So they're confident enough to raise. Now they're not at all in all-in mode. So I'm gonna call here, but I'm gonna re-raise all in if the bottom player had have raised. Wow. Okay. Well, I have the ace, so I have the bottom of the run. If a 3 comes out, I just hope they don't have a 6. But if I can just get away with what I got away with by betting out and making them fold, I'll do that instead. Oh, whoops. Yeah, fold. No real point in getting involved every time. Because that's how you bleed away your chips. And that's exactly what it is. You're just bleeding them away. Because you're big stack. When you're short stack, that's like taking chunks out of your chips. Okay, 4-3. That's an easy enough fold. But 4-3, if I had about 1,500 chips, it would be going all in on the button. Because I'm hoping they don't call, but at least if they do, I have some sort of equity in that they're probably going to call with the higher end, which means both my cards are on the lower end, which is kind of good for me. See, now I'm fighting for my big blinds. So I'm actually going to check this because I feel like they might have hit that because it's just the way they go. I just feel like that's a flop that, yeah, and if they're betting like over half the pot, it's kind of telling you like they have hit it. It's just a bit too high to be bluffed. Unless, like, when I've raised that person in the past, they have folded. And they've sometimes checked to me when they didn't have anything. So it stands to reason that if that's their behavior, then when they do bet and bet big, they must have something. Now, I will call their bet this time because I can see what I mean about the checking. So now I could probably bet here and actually win the pot. 6, 7. Let's build the pot a little. I don't mind if they call. That's fine. If they re-raise, might be in a bit of trouble. But I'll still call a re-raise. I could be in trouble here with kicker. Ah, see? See the way I could just basically tell you what they were going to do before they did it, and why I folded last time? I could tell you why I did all these things. I'm going to raise it up. Hopefully they don't go all in, and they folded. That's good. See now, see the hands I'm playing now? King 7. Oh, that's a definite raise. Before Ace, Queen was, oh, risky call. So, now Queen 3 is always going to be poor. People overvalue Queens. But if they overvalue Queens, and you don't play Queens at all, you only play Kings and Aces, and they overvalue Queens, well that means that, see if I go all in here and they call, I'll be on 3,500. If the top person calls, I will be on 1,500, which would put me in a really bad way. I'm just going to call and see how it flops, I guess. I bet at that. Because I took so long to decide, they might not believe that I had the ace. Okay, they do. But yeah, see, there's so many things like that just, yeah, if they basically overvalue queens, and you know they overvalue queens, and as I've displayed here, that, like, I can kind of, whoa, I was about to call, I didn't realise the second person called, or went over the top. But if they overvalue queens, and you only go in with aces and kings, and you know they overvalue queens, And I've proven that, like, you know, oh, I'm going to bet here and they will fold, and they did. By, like, which tells you that you can actually know your opponent. So, if they overvalue queens and you know this, just go in with kings and aces. They're probably going to bet at this, and I'm going to fold. They're getting a good chunk of money there. Well done. Yep, there it is. And that time, I don't believe them. I believe they had ace queen or ace jack. Oof. See, this is a strong hand. But if someone goes all in, I'm just wasting chips. Got a decision. I'm going to fold. Regrettably. But maybe I should be putting more pressure on these. Maybe I'll play a bit of ICM. When the person on small blind at the minute is on big blind, I'm going to raise. If I have anything decent at all. Really hoping they don't have a 2. See, when I didn't raise there before the flop, they literally just had to check. They could have had a 7 and a 2 there. Flop trip 2s. I'm going to raise this. Hope they don't go all in. Because I'm not putting pressure on that person. I'm putting pressure on the person to act after them. I'm assuming they'll just give up the small blind. And I'm hoping the person gives up the big blind. I don't want them to go all in. And then that happens. So, you know, strategies don't work every time. But that was in a vacuum, you know. What's happening here? Can I check? Can I check? Can I check? You going all in? I think they're deciding if they check. Oh no, never mind. I thought they were deciding that if they checked, would I re-raise them? I'm going to fold. Whoops. Ace jack. See, now I can raise this up. And if they do raise, I'm going all in. See, that's what was meant to happen last time. And that's why I said you can't really look at it in a vacuum and be scared because they did something one time. He obviously had kings or even a pair of 9s or 8s or something last time. That's why he re-raised me. But they obviously won't have that every time. So you're pretty good to go most of the time. Thing I don't like is that person... Oh, cool. They called this time. But that person used to, like, just fold every time I folded. They're on the big blind and they're just giving it up every time. But then they go and steal it off me, so it's kind of a full circle thing. That's why if you look at chip stacks, they really haven't moved in the last 5 minutes, and it's kind of annoying. I was nearly at 5,000 at one stage. 446 or something, I think I was at. Let's see. Big bet. And a fold. And they win a little bit more. And I'm obviously folding that, because if I get re-raised at all, screwed. Okay, interesting. See, also, there are less people on the table. So when there are less people, less hands go out, less cards physically leave the deck. Which means that there's a less likely chance of people to be dealt premium cards. So if that's the case, then they won't have as good every time. They might have good sometimes, but they won't have as good every time. I knew they were going to raise that. As soon as they didn't fold straight away, I was like, they're raising. 4s. Ooh. Crap. Not good for me. But let's find out. I could have ace queen. Okay. They're going to bet here and I'm going to have to fold. Because if they have a jack, they win. Right? 8, 9. Yeah, 4s ain't looking very good. And I only lost 600. And unfortunately, after feeding the last place person, which does suck. But there you have it. Can't win them all. Should have went all in before the flop. Meant to make a real decision. Jack, I'm going to fold. I think I'm just going to fold on the button every time now. Just fight for the blinds. See, my strategy wasn't working, so now I'm going to try a new one. And that's something you should always be doing. Reevaluate your strategy if it doesn't work. Don't say, oh, well, that didn't work. So I'm going to keep at it until it does eventually work. Like, no. Just no, basically. Do. Pot-sized bet. They might fold this time. Yep. See? They only called last time because they actually genuinely had something. 3-3-50? What? I'm going to call. They're going to raise. Oh no. 9. Let's have a go. There we go. Getting some of the big blinds back. Queen 4. That's a hand I could have raised. But I wouldn't have called all in with it. Okay. Oh, someone's coming in. Queen 9, but they're suited. Let's see if I can get a cheeky flop here. Well, it was not in any way cheeky. But I believe that they don't have the king or the jack, because they would have 100% raised. So I'm going to call this 9, jack. Well, I have a pair of 9s actually. So I'm going to lead out the betting. They'd probably have a 4, ace 4 maybe. No, they wouldn't have an ace 4. Maybe could have a 9-4. Never thought of that. Maybe 7-4. They're probably thinking, do I have the diamonds? And decided that it's possible I do. But I still would have put them on a 4. They raise so often that when like a queen, or what came out, like a jack and a king came out, there's no way they had them. Because they're raising all the time. Why wouldn't they, if they tend to raise all the time, and suddenly they don't, then you can be sure that the thing they don't raise is fairly weak. I'm going to fold that. Just clawing my way back up. I believe if I play a slower brand of poker, I might be more successful. Don't go all in. See, now that person, if they do go all in, I would believe them more so than before, because 9-10, now they just need a jack. I'm just going to bet this. They'd probably fold, yeah. I believe they would have folded anyway. Should have raised before the flop. Then they would have got re-raised back, and then it would have been a whole situation. What was I going to say? Ace, jack. If they raise, I'm going all in. I could get stung, but sometimes you just gotta make a little gamble, you know? But yeah, as I was saying, I'm going to play a slower brand of poker. Let's raise this. And if I get re-raised, it's going all in. Okay. Queen 4. Interesting. Oh, the all in. Call. No. 2-5. They're not going all in half as often now. Well, they are, obviously, in the last two hands. But what I mean is, it's clear that they're biding their time long enough to be able to have aces now. Whereas before, they were such short stack, they were basically waiting for any good hand. So, they didn't have to wait for aces. They didn't have time to wait for aces. Queen 10 again. Ugh. Don't go all in. Raise if you want. There you go. Now, I don't believe you have that ace because you only barely raised. 2, 3, 4. Oh no. Oh no. 3 clubs. Yeah, I'm gone. Gone. Well, that sucks. I'm now low stack. See, I didn't take enough advantage of being the bigger stack. And the person who was literally just absolutely the worst, like, chip stack ever imaginable, they were down to 4, are now chip leader. Because we were all playing way too conservatively. I want to check because I just don't know how to feel about them. Should I call this? This is going all in. No, let's see what happens. 2-5, yeah, I win. Woo, chip leader again. We basically just swapped sacks. Interesting. They're playing a loose fast style now. I like it. This person could go all in here. Am I willing to call? Yeah. Oh no, they just folded. King 5, that's a fold. 5-2, that's a fold. Ooh. Oh, danger, danger. Someone go all in. And the other person please call. You can do this. You can do this. Call, 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 call. Yes! Heads up. Can I do it this week? Let us find out. Now, suddenly hands go absolutely mental. Because it's so unlikely that anyone has anything. 7. I'm going to check this back. 600. Yes, see, they're playing the game that I usually play, which is, you know, raise them until they re-raise you, then they're telling you to kind of have something. But if someone's playing that on you and that's the style you normally play, you know, just counter it. Re-raise. See, I would never call it re-raise, you know. Now, if they call this, I'm pretty much screwed. Because I have the 2 of hearts. They must have had like 8-10 or something. This is going all in. Because if they have 2 overcards, like I said, it's a 50-50. Oh, no. Second again. Again, second. Man, that sucks. But yeah, if they didn't have a higher pair, which is like so unlikely, it's ridiculously annoying. If they didn't have, like if they had like an ace king, I would have had a 52% chance of winning. So it really does suck that I went all in there. But I have no one to blame but myself, because even though that is true, you should always go in with as high a pair as possible. But having said that, you're only going to catch a pair like 1 in every 17 hands when it's heads up. So the fact we both caught at the same time kind of sucks. But there we have it. The king of coming second. But hey, look, you get money for coming second, and this is all about profit. So my profit is going up with each second that I go in, basically. So I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope you learned something. And if you have any questions about some of the stuff I've started talking about and then just kind of stopped talking about halfway through, I don't mind putting up separate videos to answer those specific questions. I'll put them up on Saturdays. But until I get any comments, then I guess I'm just going to keep playing these and we'll see where we go. Thank you for watching, and come back Friday for the conclusion of Monday's hands, which I'm really looking forward to because I threw a little something in there that I think you'll appreciate and kind of helps me prove a point. So definitely come back on Friday to see that. Have a good one.